Well, I'm pumped now, that's all I can say. Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is going to be my review for the Christmas special of Pretty Little Liars, Season 5, Episode 13, How the A Stole Christmas. And that was the perfect title for this episode. But let me say something about this episode. This episode did not really feel like a Christmas special. Really, what it felt like, rather, was a preview of what's to come in 5B. What's going to end up happening, what the storylines are going to be, what sort of things everyone's going to have to deal with, and it especially made us kind of change our opinion of Allie. It definitely made me change my opinion of her immensely. I completely think, very differently of Allie now. And the way they portrayed her in this episode is definitely very differently than the way they've been portraying her the past couple of episodes. And this episode, honestly, Christmas was in the background of this episode. Yes, Christmas was going on, but that was not what the whole episode was about. The episode was not about Christmas. It was a very sad, very bitter episode, but I cannot wait for 5B. This episode really did what a good episode before the return should do, really did everything perfectly, and honestly, it was the best of these Christmas specials. Out of the Fosters, Switch to Birth and Pretty Little Liars. Pretty Little Liars, no surprise, they did it best. I mean, come on. Guys, this is my pick for the biggest comeback, for the best comeback of the year, and I completely think that Pretty Little Liars is the best comeback of the year, and let's just get to this episode because it was amazing. So, we start off where we see the girls are walking through Rosewood, and surprisingly, Spencer is there, and I thought Spencer was going to go to jail, but no, she's not in jail yet. They're talking about how she and Toby aren't exchanging gifts this year because she feels funny celebrating when she is out on bail for murder, and they stop by a Christmas tree where they're supposed to make a Christmas wish, basically. And you can see that they are still mourning the death of Mona, but the one who's taking it to heart the most is Hannah. Because the last time she was at this Christmas tree, she made a promise to Mona that she would never leave her side, that she would always be there for her. And now she's kind of upset at how Mona would, feel, she's kind of wondering how Mona would feel now, if Mona, how Mona would think how she was acting now. And I thought that was a very well done scene. I like that we did see, even though Mona is dead, we did see a lot of Janelle Parrish in this episode because she's a very good actress, and I love seeing her as an actress. She's a very good actress, and it was great to see her again, definitely. So you can definitely see that she is definitely very upset about Mona's death. So they see this this lawyer there, and this lawyer approaches them and says that he is handling Mona's affair, and basically he is the new what's her name? Now I can't think of her name. You know her name. The girl that's been investigating Detective Wilden. The guy, the one that's been investigating that and was investigating Allison and everything. You guys know who I'm talking about. I can't think of her name right now. But he is going to be handling Mo's affair in her case, and she instructed him to deliver the letter to Hannah if she ever died. And Hannah opens it, and it's a bunch of drawings of Allie's house and all of her hiding spots. And the girls are pretty certain that they can use Mo's drawings to find proof that Allie killed Bethany Young and Spencer didn't, because they're pretty sure that Allie was the one that killed Bethany Young. Now, do I think that Allie killed Bethany Young? There's a possibility. Do I think that she killed Mona? No, I do not think she killed Mona. Especially after this episode, I do not think that Allie killed Mona, and I will explain why when we get to a certain part of the episode. So, a Santa Claus walks by and hands Arya a snow globe. She shakes it and realizes it is a picture of the liars inside it, and a note from Maine. It says, A takes a holiday, and you should too. So, that was very, that was a very weird way to start the episode. Very, very harrowing way to start the episode, and I definitely really enjoyed that. So, then we focus on Allie for a little bit, because we go to Allie's house. She's sleeping in her room, and the lights start flashing. All of a sudden, they just start flickering, everything, they're flashing. She sits up in bed in shock when her dead mother walks through the door, and when we saw her, I'm like, okay, I guess that's a little weird. We actually see her dead mother a lot in this episode. I mean, they really made her a big part of this episode. I don't know if that was the intent, but she was a huge part of this episode, definitely. She basically tells Allie that she has a lot to show her, and I'm like, who's she? And Allie gets out of bed, lays down on the couch with a picture of her mother, and goes back to sleep. She wakes up and sees that she has gone back in time, and Mona is there. Mona, basically, this is like a Christmas Carol, basically. She is there to show Allie the past, present, and, the future and things like that. However, we only see the past and the future. We don't see the present. We only see the past and the future in this episode. So, basically, again, it was good to see Mona again, and we actually get to see young Allie, and I loved this scene because one of the things we've always been wondering is how Allie got this way, why she is the way she is, and I really like seeing this scene, and it really made us care for Allie more. That's something I gotta say. Also, Sasha Piertis in this episode, amazing job. She really did a fantastic job in this episode. Everyone did an amazing job, definitely. So, she sees younger Allie. She's playing a song on the piano with, Mona's there. And Mona tells Allie that's not, what she's going to see. She's like, you need to see this. It's not pretty, but you need to see it. And younger Allie finds a Christmas present because she's playing the piano and suddenly the notes don't work. And she finds 2 Christmas presents hidden in the piano and opens them. And she finds 2 boxes of yellow dresses and her mom walks in. Now, I thought these 2 yellow dresses were basically because one was for Allie and one was for Bethany. But I don't think that's the case because, of course, what her mother says to her. So, her mom tells her that she has to lie and can't tell anyone that there were 2 yellow dresses or else her father will leave them. So, she tells her to lie that there was 1 yellow dress. She opened the piano, there was 1 yellow dress, and their father, basically won't leave them because, her father won't leave them because of that. So, Allie agrees to keep the secret from her mom, and it was cool to see that because that is when Allie started lying. That's when all this started, and I thought that was very well done, in my opinion. That's something that I definitely really enjoyed. And definitely one of my favorite parts of the episode was definitely her backstory. I always love seeing Allie flashbacks. It really makes us care for her more. And now we know why Allie lies. Because all her life, her mother's basically told her to. So Allie pretty much thinks it's okay. I don't think she thinks it's okay, but she's so used to it, and that's why she lies now. So then we see Spencer in her room getting ready for the Christmas dance. She and the other girls have a plan. They're basically going to use that drawing, as I said, to see if, to prove that Allie killed Bethany on. And Toby is now in a wheelchair, of course, because of his attack from, that car accident that he was in. And he's in Spencer's room looking through Allie's window. And Spencer explains that this could be her last Christmas because already she's lost the case. The lawyers, look on the lawyer's face. It doesn't look like it's going to get any better for her. It looks like she's already, not innocent. She's going to end up going to jail. And I really felt bad for Spencer because of that. But then Spencer, she does want to, even though Spencer is so upset, she does still want to, please Toby and, make him cheer up a little bit. So she puts on, this very, sexy Santa outfits. There's really, short Santa outfits that girls wear, in Mean Girls and things like that. Yes, I do watch that movie. I don't care. I think it's a good movie, in my opinion. But basically, she puts that on for him and everything, and that was a very fun scene to watch, and I definitely really enjoyed that. And it was good to see that Spencer, she really is a great girlfriend to Toby. Even when she is going through a very hard time, she is still there to please him and still there to be a great girlfriend to him, and I definitely really enjoyed that. So I thought that was a great scene, in my opinion, definitely. So Ari is serving cookies at an elderly home with Ezra, and he surprises her with gifts, even though they agreed to be low-key about their relationship. They don't want to put it out. And I like that they're not really putting labels on anything. I like that they're, basically just, he's in her life. They can do what they want. I like that, definitely. So they're done caroling for the elderly, and Sydney corners Emily and says she just wants to say Merry Christmas. But Emily completely snaps on her. She does not trust Sydney and Jenna, which I still kind of don't trust them at this point either. Do I think that they are the ones that killed Mona? No, because they were working with Mona, so why the fuck would they kill Mona? That doesn't make any sense. So, Paige, she then sees Paige arguing with her parents on the phone, and I really like this. I like that they did this because, I do kind of wish they introduced it in the finale, but I was fine they introduced this here. Basically, they want Paige, to go to California with them right after Christmas, and, basically they want her to visit there, and Emily gets kind of concerned about that. So, at Allie's house, she's giving 2 nerdy girls that worship her a makeover. She jokes that it's a Christmas miracle and everything. And that was interesting to see. And it really, what I liked about the scene is it made us remember how much what Allie did for Mona. Of course, Allie turned Mona. She was the geek, she was a nerdy girl, and then she turned her into this beautiful girl. And it seems like she's going to do that to everyone now. So it kind of makes us think she killed Mona. At this point, I'm kind of thinking she did, but I'll talk about why I don't think she did in a second. But we also saw something else that was very creepy. I didn't talk about the creepiest scene in this episode. We see Hannah at this church and everything, And they are, they're these like little girls there, and they're literally exact replicas of Allie, Spencer, Emily, Aria, and Hannah. They're exact replicas of them. So Hannah ends up yelling at the little girl that represents Allie, and basically does what they have done to Allie, and basically tells the girls to turn their back on her. And I thought that was a very well done scene. I definitely really enjoy that, and it really shows the army that Allie is making. I mean, she wants people on her side. She needs people on her side to defend her, and she's gonna get people. So I definitely really enjoy that, and I thought that was very well done, in my opinion. I love that. I love that they did that. And again, it really shows us what's to come. It makes us, kind of worried about what's to come, and I definitely really enjoyed that. So I thought that was a very well done scene, in my opinion. I really, really like that. So Spencer, Allie, Emily, and Aria, even though they were very hesitant, they decided to go to the Christmas dance. They said that they weren't going to, but they decided they're going to because, of course, what their plan is. They're decked out in gowns like you see on the thumbnail that I'm using, but they can't find Allie anywhere. They have no idea where she is. So Spencer checks in with Santa, who's actually Lucas, and reminds him that it is his job to make sure Allie stays at the dance. Just to make sure she does not leave because they are on to her. They have a whole plan, everything. He wants to, she wants to make sure that he is, with that, in on it. So Allie finally arrives, makes her grand entrance, and it literally looks like it was a kind of, I don't know if they were trying to do this, but it was kind of an homage to the 100th episode. If you remember, in the 100th episode, they all came back to school, and we saw them all, we saw Allie with all the girls. This kind of was an homage to that because she is with 4 girls that look exactly like Aria, Emily, Hannah, and Spencer. And I honestly think that, Allie's just doing this to intimidate them. I think that's why she's doing this. She's doing this to show them, look, you're going to turn your back on me, I'll just find people that look exactly like you. It's creepy, but I understand why she's doing it. I do understand that, so it makes sense, but it is creepy. So basically, Hannah and Spencer sneak out the back while Allie's busy wowing literally everyone. Everyone's happy to see Allie. They're all treating her like she's a celebrity still. So they get out of there because they realize that she's being treated basically like royalty. So Aria and Emily stay behind at the dance to keep an eye out for A. And Aria's shocked when she sees Allie this was really weird. Allie randomly goes up to Santa Claus and kisses him. But they have no idea which Santa Claus because half of the guys at the party are dressed like Santa. So this kind of makes them very worried about what's going on because obviously she just kissed Santa, but they have no idea who it is. So definitely they are very worried. And I don't really know what that's, what that's exactly trying to show. I think that definitely is very interesting. And it's going to be, interesting to see who she actually kissed. I don't know who it was. We don't find out in this episode, but Aria's looking for Allie when she bumps into Detective Holbrook, who is also dressed as Santa, and he leaves her about her boyfriend, about Ezra, of course, because that, which is interesting to see, Holbrook bump into Aria when he and Hannah had chemistry. You would think that he would talk to Hannah, but he doesn't. He talks to Aria, which I thought was interesting that they did that, because that's not what we were expecting. We were expecting him to talk to Hannah about their relationship. That's what we were expecting to happen, but that's not actually what happens. He talks to Aria. So I thought that was a well-done scene. I like that they did that because it kind of made us, think the opposite of actually what was going to happen. And then we get the most surprising scene in the episode, and I definitely want to talk about something here. Allie steps outside, she sees someone in a lawn fur white robe who follows her, and it's Cece. And she says, "Merry Christmas, Allie." Now, they revealed, now let me say something. When Allie entered the party, they kind of, after Allie, they had this long, pan shot of a white coat, and they made it seem like that person is A. Now, I personally think, and I think this could definitely be true, I think Cece killed Mona. Let's talk about why. Okay, this actually makes a lot of sense if you think about it. Now, I know you guys think it's probably Allie. Not after this episode. Allie is way too vulnerable in this episode. They give Allie a way too positive, look, definitely. They make us care for her again, so I don't think it's Allie. But yet, the show tries to trick us all the time, so I do not think it's Allie at all, actually. Because the show tries to trick us. That's just the thing that the show does. They love to trick us. So Here's what I think. I think Cece is Allie because if you remember, the person that went in the house had very wavy, curly blonde hair, and Allie does not have curvy blonde hair. She has straight blonde hair. Cece, however, does, and she also, she is blonde. Also, she's taller than Allie, and the girl that killed Mona was a lot taller than Allie was. So I definitely think it's a possibility that Cece is Allie. We have no idea what happened to her. We know that she disguised herself as Allie's alter ego, Vivian. We know that she did that, but we have not seen her since then. So I'm definitely very suspicious about her. When they just have a character randomly return, I get very suspicious, okay? This is not something where I'm not going to get suspicious because I am, okay? This is something where basically I'm going to get very suspicious now because I pretty much think that, they're not just going to randomly have a character come back to have a character come back. That's not how Pretty Little Liars works. They have a character come back for specific reasons, and having Cece come back, I definitely think is trying to show that she could possibly be A. I think that's what that's trying to show, definitely. So, inside the dance, we see two masked, masked girls, and we see one of them is definitely Sydney, and the other is Jenna. They are working with Allie, and I kind of like what this is trying to show. I think what this is trying to show is that, again, Allie is just doing this to intimidate them. They basically tell Emily not to be worried about Allie because she has nothing bad. They should not be worried about her. And I like that they said straight out, look, don't be worried about her because there's nothing to be worried about. And I like seeing that definitely because it's true. The way they've been portraying Allie in this episode, she's not really a bad person. So I like that they showed that, they really shouldn't be, that they should trust her, definitely. They say that she and Cindy were playing on Allie's team now that they could survive. They shared Emily's suspicions that but they do think that Allie is responsible for Mona's death. They do say that. They say that Allie is responsible for Mona's death. They do say that they think she is, which I think is interesting because if they're working with Allie, why would they think that? So they explain that they're just being friends with Allie because they are doing what they have to do to survive, and they won't be safe until Allie is locked away. And it makes sense why they're doing that. It does make sense, but I don't think that Allie's the one that did it. So, at the same time, Cece's catching up with Allie about Tales of Life in California, and Allie thanks her for coming to her during a time of need because she really has no one at this point. If you think about it, Allie has no one. She's just randomly getting people that look like her friends to, basically come back. So she confided that she had a dream about Mona, and Cece told her that Mona couldn't hurt her anymore, and that her ex-friends were still around, didn't come to say Merry Christmas. Now, here's what I think is going on. And I'm going to talk about we're going to talk about something that happens in a second. Spencer and Hannah are also creeped out. They snoop around Allie's house in the dark, with Toby taking long-distance photos from Spencer's home next door. As a weather report on the TV forecasted a Christmas Eve blizzard, Hannah finds a passport that gave Allie a new identity as Holly Varjak, which Spencer quickly realized was a reference to Breakfast at Tiffany's. Breakfast at Tiffany's, of course. So basically, Allie now has a new alter ego, which is surprising. I mean, it's kind of surprising, but kind of not at the same time. So basically, Emily, Ari, and Ezra, they're in Caleb. They're watching Allie, and so yeah, as I said, it's from Breakfast at Tiffany's, and Allie needs to leave town. It's basically in case Allie needs to leave town in a hurry, because of course, her parents did warn her that they might have to move and everything. So, she is worried that she might have to leave town again. Remember, she's been gone for a while. So, Spencer finds a cut-up old newspaper and realizes that Allie was talking to someone in the personal ads just like she used to with Mona. So at the dance, Emily and Aria and Ezra and Caleb are watching Allie and Cece leave with Holbrook. They're convinced that Allie has been sleeping with Holbrook for a while, and he is the one that helped Cece leave the country. They're pretty convinced that that's what's going on there. So they chase Allie and Cece outside, and Paige and Lucas help them corner them. But when Allie and Cece turn around, they realize that it is the two girls that Allie gave makeovers to wearing masks, and they just fell for a decoy. It's Cindy and Mindy. And now I have another theory. Here. I personally think that it could be Cindy and Mindy that killed Mona. I feel that Allie has all these people working with her that are blonde, and basically what she did is she has people covering for her for things, and I think that she might have told them to not kill Mona. Do I think that she was responsible for Mona's death? Honestly, no, I don't feel she is, because there's a scene that really makes me feel like she didn't do anything. So I feel she said, don't kill Mona, and they turned against her. It could definitely be a possibility. I mean, think of how many people have turned against Allie. Mona turned against Allie after she gave her a makeover. So these girls could be no different. They could have just wanted a makeover and then turn against her. I think that's probably what's going on. I really feel that someone turned against Allie. She really doesn't have many allies now, so, and why would you ally with Allie? I mean, she's the main target right now, so why would you ally with her? And I was watching this episode and talking to my friend, Caleb playing aka Kid of Awesome. Of course, I talk about him all the time, but he actually said an interesting theory to me that I kind of agree with. He said that he thinks that basically what they're trying to show is that someone threatened Allie and is making her seem like the suspect so they're innocent. And I could kind of see that being a possibility as well. But at the same time, you really don't know with this show. The show, like, changes things like that, so you really don't know. So, Spencer and Hannah are still searching Allie's house. Hannah finds a key to a chest and opens it, and it plays a recording of Allie saying, "Get out of my stuff or I kill you," so they get very scared by that, obviously. So Caleb calls Toby and warns him that Allie left the party. They can't get hold of Spencer and Hannah. Toby hangs up and looks back inside Allie's house and sees someone dressed in black carrying a butcher knife, and Spencer is now hiding behind a chair. But Hannah's up to the attic and has no idea that someone is in the house with a knife, and Spencer texts Hannah to warn her and then hears Hannah's phone vibrates and realizes that she left it downstairs. So Hannah is then upstairs in the attic reading Allie's letters and realizes that Allie knew Bethany and she invited her to Rosewood on Labor Day weekend, which, we knew about already, but then she was killed. When she was killed, basically. So that's very suspicious. So now they sort of have some sort of collateral as to what happened. However, was Allie with Cece? That's what I want to, because I really feel that Cece is the one that is responsible for this. Now, do I feel like Allie could have killed Bethany? Yes, because Allie was a bad person then. Allie was not a nice person at all. She was a bitch back then. But she has changed now. She is a lot more toned down. She's basically, I just think, trying to scare them into working with her. And all she wants is allies. That's really what it seems like to me, is that they're trying to show here. Is all that Allie wants is allies. Now, I know a lot of you were probably saying, Allie's the, bad person, don't trust her. But Allie really seems to me like she just wants allies. That's really what this seems like is going on here. So, then, basically, Spencer hears Hannah screaming, runs upstairs. She finds her passed out on the floor. I honestly thought they were gonna, I honestly, for a second thought, I'm like, are they gonna kill off Hannah or something? I mean, they killed off Mona, so you never know. She's passed out on the floor, and A has gone out of the open window. So Spencer, Aria, Emily, and Hannah all head to Spencer's house, and luckily Hannah's okay and everything. So they head to Spencer's house to regroup with Caleb, Toby, Paige, and Ezra, and Spencer says that she feels optimistic about her case now that they have the letter proving Allie invited Bethany to Rosewood. She pretty much feels she's safe now. She thinks she's gonna be fine. And then we see Mona's ghost one last time. This is a very crucial scene, and really makes me worried for what's gonna happen to Allie. Mona's ghost is showing Allie her future. She takes her to a church where she's lying dead in a coffin. Allie's mother shows up dressed in black and tells Allie that they are coming for her. And they claim that they can't find her legs. So something definitely happened to Allie. Something definitely is going to happen for her in the future. She tells they're coming for her. She's not going to be safe. She's crying that she's going to hell, and tries to get out of the church. She wakes up from her nightmare screaming Mona, and then she sees Mona again, and she says, "It's Christmas, and you're not going to want to miss it." And that was just a crazy way to open, to start the episode. I thought that was pretty crazy what was going on there, definitely. And I definitely feel that this is trying to show that Allie is not going to be safe. She's not safe now. She needs to get the hell out of where she is. And honestly, I kind of feel like this is going to lead to Allie leaving town again. I don't want that to happen because it's made the show 10 times better now that Allie's on it. But I don't want her to, I think that Allie, as I said, I don't feel she did anything wrong. Again, I feel she killed Bethany. I don't feel she killed Mona. I just don't. I could not see Allie, after everything that she's done, after everything she's trying to do, I don't feel she just killed Mona. Okay, I don't feel she would. Okay, this episode really made us try to feel bad for her, especially the last scene, which I'll talk about. We see Aria, Spencer, Toby, Caleb, Hannah, and Emily, and Ezra, and Paige. They're all snowed in. They spend Christmas together. So Paige breaks the news to Emily that her parents are actually, they want her to move for California to good before graduation, not just to visit. So And we now have this very interesting plot with Paige now. Is she gonna do it? Is she gonna leave? Is she gonna leave Emily? I mean, she could leave Emily because she's terrified of Allie, so I could see that happening. I can definitely see that being a possibility if she ends up leaving Emily. We'll have to see what happens there, but that's gonna be interesting. Hannah feels guilty, wishes Mona was there with them. They sit down to eat Christmas dinner together after their boyfriends do like, after their boyfriends and Paige do like a little like Santa thing for them, like a stripper Santa thing. And we see this scene honestly almost made me cry. I thought this was actually really sad. We see Allie is outside watching them all eat Christmas dinner. They're toasting and everything. And it really makes us see how vulnerable Allie is right now. She is in a very vulnerable state right now. I mean, she is not against them. She's not. She just wants allies. That's all she wants. And now she's terrified because she feels there's someone coming after her. So now she definitely wants allies. She definitely wants people to work with. And these people, they are her friends, okay? I definitely feel even though she feels they betrayed them, they are her friends. She cares about them. She wants something, she doesn't want it to end bad for them because she feels bad for what she's done. So basically, we see her, looking outside. Then they all sit down and eat Christmas dinner together. They hear a noise, head outside, and they see this Christmas tree there, and they're like, who left it there? But then we see a message, and it says, Merry Christmas, bitches, and that's how the episode ends. Yes, it was a little bit anticlimactic, but still, guys, this was a fantastic episode, because it didn't feel like a Christmas episode. It felt like a regular episode. It really felt like setting things up for the second half of the season. We now have tons of stuff to talk about, and I didn't think we would. I didn't think we'd have a lot to talk about, actually, because I thought it would just be like either The Fosters was or How Switched at Birth was, where it'd be like a one-episode thing. Now, some of the stuff was with the Christmas stuff and everything, that was, but a lot of the stuff in this episode, it's definitely going to impact a lot of the show, definitely. First of all, what is going to happen to Allie? Allie definitely is not safe. She saw in the future that she's dead, so do you trust Allie? Again, I think she killed Bethany. I don't think she killed Mona. I know I'm going to keep saying that, but I don't think she did. Do you think Cece is responsible? I could definitely see her being responsible. Cindy and Mindy, could they have done what Mona did and maybe turn against Allie? That could have been a possibility. Maybe they're working. I kind of feel like whoever is Allie is now, whoever is A is now working with Allie or with the liars. They are working on their own side against both of them. It's definitely a possibility that I could definitely think of. I could definitely see that happening. Someone came up with a theory that Bethany Young's twin was actually killed, and the real Bethany Young killed Mona. I could see that being a possibility, but I think that's just way too soap opera-ish. I do not. The show's not soap opera. It's a thriller. Okay, it's not like that. This is a crime drama. This is a crime drama show. It's not like that. I would not look that far into it. What's going on with Paige? Is she going to leave to California? Is she going to leave Emily? I don't know if she's going to. After all they've been through, I don't know if Paige would actually do that. We'll have to see what happens there. Is Spencer, do you think she now has that collateral she needs? I think she does, but I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. What do you think is going to happen with, definitely something's going to happen with Allie, definitely. We're not going to find out who A is till season 7, so we're not going to find out who that is. Is Allie in a relation with Detective Wilden? Are we going to see more Allie flashbacks? I definitely want to see more Allie flashbacks. I loved the flashbacks with Allie in this episode. I love what they did with that. I thought that was great, and I love that we got more Allie flashbacks. But that's my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys saw this episode. I know there was a lot to talk about. I know this was a very long video. Longer than it should have been, but come on, it's Pretty Liars. There's always so much that goes on. Let me know what you guys saw this episode. Was it as crazy as you thought it was going to be? Was it crazier than you thought? It was a lot crazier than I thought it was going to be. But that's my review. Hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for the mid-season finale of The Flash, which I knew you guys were looking forward to. And I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.